service providers in the city of Johannesburg, particularly JMPD, have not been paid for over 2 years. These service providers say they are now facing dire financial straits as a result. Zola Sholwana is following the story for us, and you standing by to tell us what more we know, Zola.
Yes, Studio. So we are at actually one of the panel beaters that are responsible for servicing JMPD cars. I just want to show you this vehicle that's right behind me. If my colleague will be able to show you, this car was brought in 2021. We are now in 2023. And these service providers are saying they've been trying to communicate with the JMPD and they've been sending them back and forth saying that this is the City of Johannesburg responsibility to make sure that they pay them for fixing these cars. And the service providers then said, you know what, at this point we don't want you guys to pay us for fixing these cars, just pay us for storage, because these cars have been here for over 2 years. And we tried to speak to someone from the City of Johannesburg earlier on, and they said they refuse to comment on the matter. I just want us to speak to one of the service providers to do. There's actually quite a number of them. If you could look at this list, there's about a lot of vehicles, you know, that have been brought in by the JMPD so that they are panel bitted and fixed. There's just so many of them, but we can't really show you all of them right now. Sir, thank you very much for your time. As a business owner, you said this is your last resort because you've really been trying to communicate with JMPD to at least, you know, help you in terms of paying for storage, because at this point you no longer want to fix the cars.
Yes, 100%. Thank you for having me on the news. You know, I've reached out to JMPD. I think all the panel beaters have. We've spoken to the city manager. Yesterday I spoke to the HOD. All we want to do is either get paid up front, because our faith in them, we don't trust they'll pay us. If they say fix it, we'll pay you afterwards. We're not guaranteed of getting our money. So, you know, they came to us and they promised us that within the month of May, everything will be sorted out. And on me personally, I'm talking about 1.5 years. You know, that I had to let staff go. I had to sell my spray booth. The sheriff came to repossess my stuff. And this is my last resort, appealing to somebody at the City of Johannesburg to come to us and pay us our storage fees, because as you can see, a business like this, the yard is full. We can't bring in other work. We try, but we can't. We have to clean these cars every day, because our other customers take a look at these cars. If they see it dirty, they think that's the type of work that we give, you know. So we've spoken to everybody at JMPD. Promises are made, but nothing. The last promise was made, that was made to me, because they called us to come and fetch more cars about a month ago. We had to load everything on a memory stick for AfriFleet and do everything. It was probably 2 weeks' work that we had to do, a week's work of information we gathered. When I spoke to somebody at AfriFleet yesterday to ask them, you know, where are we? How far is this process? We need money. My guys haven't been paid for 2 months. She said to me, I handed what I needed to hand over to the relevant authorities, and they've done nothing about it. So we are burning, we are crying, we have, you know, it's not fair on our staff. Our staff, the little money they earn, they're not getting it, because now they're on short time. They're getting half their wages. Me as the director, I'm maximized my loans, everybody. As we were standing here, West Bank phone, you know. So all we're saying is, please pay us to repair these cars, or pay us the storage fees. Pay us up front as you promised.
Okay. Now, what is interesting is also the fact that they saw that JMPD introduced a new fleet, and now that raised questions to them. They asked themselves, what happens to us? When are we getting paid? And let me bring in a worker, someone. Sir, please come, Mr. Maseko. Someone that's actually been immensely affected by this. And, you know, your boss mentioned that this has affected you. As a result, awukhona ukubhatalela abantwana ama-fees esikolweni.
Angikhona ukubhatalela abantwana ngasikhuluma izulu ne? Yebo baba. Angikhona ukubhatalela abantwana esikolweni, angikhona ukubathengela ukudla. Since 2021 akuhambi nje kahle, ayikho into ehamba kahle. nokuthi ngize emsebenzini ngiyayiboleka imali ukuthi ngize emsebenzini. February ngiregister umntwana eUnisa ngaboleka imali 6,400. F2 ukuthi ngibhadale every month 1,000 angikhona ukuyibhadala. Nedata sebaze bayivala abasamniki idata. Khosi uthi mina ngikhipha imali ekhikhini kodwa angiholi. Sometimes ngihamba no 200 rand iviki lonke. Weekend akukudla endlini.
Siyabonga baba ngesikhathi sakho. So not so long ago you saw that they introduced a new fleet.
Yes.
Where did that leave you as service providers?
Well, to be truthful is I was approached by the staff because they heard of the news first that there was a new fleet that's been released, and it was released at Lanseria, and then from there sent through to Nasrec, where the distribution took place. Now, my point or my feeling is I'm sitting with cars here since 2021, and this is my yard. If you look at my yard, there is no space to bring in other people's cars. No other business I can look for to bring in work because I don't have the space. It's just been, it's hard so, because they can afford to go and pay millions or billions to a rental company or leasing company. But that same leasing companies and the JMPD themselves cannot pay suppliers like us. For the last 8 months, if not longer, I have a complement of just over 30. They took it upon themselves, the staff, where they have shifts. 1 week they work, they stay at home for the next week. Then the other staff comes in, they earn a bit of money, well, their weekly wages. My point is, if a gentleman or a lady is earning 3,000 rand a week, it's 12,000 rand a month. Now all of a sudden, in this day and age, 2023, for crying out loud, that he now or she now goes home with half that money. You can't eat, you can't live. Personally, I'm battling myself. Home, at the office, you're embarrassed to face your staff. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time. So now, Dudu, I just want to show you there's actually more vehicles in this yard, and there's a lot of panel beaters who basically decided to really say this is their last resort because they've been trying to speak to the relevant parties to respond to their grievances, and nothing has been said. The JMPD says you can speak to the City of Johannesburg. When you get to the City of Johannesburg, then they tell you that they are not willing to comment on the matter.
Thank you very much, Zola Sholwana, for that report.